Greetings. Welcome to TheQueenElle LLC. This is TheQueenElle. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today's video is regarding our upcoming penumbral lunar eclipse and full moon, which both take place on May 5th. So let's get started. Now, like I said, they both take place May 5th. The full moon is in Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed water sign. So I like to call it the fiery water sign just because of the amount of energy that this sign possesses. Now, with regard to the full moon in Scorpio, my recommendation, because also the moon is opposing the sun and opposing Mercury, which we know is in retrograde right now. But the moon is also trine Saturn. Now, Saturn is our planet of our purpose. It's also our planet of our career and the processes, boundaries that we have in place in our life. So trine is a very lucky, great, energetic type of space to be in. So this is great energy between the moon, which is our emotions, it's our inner self, it's representing the shadow work that we need to do as well, clearly aligned with our sense of purpose in our life. Now, with moon opposing the sun and Mercury, Mercury is our communication planet. My recommendation is to focus on shadow work during this time, but to do this shadow work in private. Now, there's no need to make some grand declaration or proclamation about your inner workings and about how you are working to heal yourself. Do this work in private. Your healed self will be clearly apparent to everyone, and there won't be a need to make a bold statement about it. You will be the statement. You're enough. Now, also with regard to the penumbral lunar eclipse. Now, we had another eclipse recently, so if you have not seen that video, I will link it above. But the penumbral lunar eclipse, this will be the first of two lunar eclipses that will take place in 2023. Penumbral means that the Earth will be passing between the moon and the sun, and the moon will be partially in the Earth's shadow or umbra, and that's where penumbral comes from. Now, this lunar eclipse is taking place overnight between May 5th into May 6th. It will only be taking place for approximately 4 hours, and the lunar eclipse will be visible for Asia, Africa, Antarctica, and Russia, and also the surrounding oceans around those continents. Now, during this time for the penumbral lunar eclipse, the recommendation that I have is to face ourselves and also use this time to work on ourselves. That's where that shadow work is coming into play. So it's perfect timing with it being a full moon in Scorpio as well. And it's also a great time to work with both the Pluto and Mercury retrogrades, just to focus inward, you know, instead of looking at the retrogrades in a sense of gloom and doom. It's important to realize that a lot of times it is just prompting us to look inward, to focus inward versus how we interact with others, or to push, you know, ourselves outward even more. It's time to focus inward. With regard to Pluto, and I'll link my Pluto retrograde video, it's important to focus and reflect, reset, in order to renew and rejuvenate and renovate yourself essentially from the inside out. So that is my recommendation with regard to this energy. As always, as we have these lunar cycles, with regard to this full moon energy, there's the shadow period a few days before and afterward. So the shadow period for this lunar cycle, for this full moon, is starting around May 2nd. And like I said, both of these lunar events are taking place on May 5th. And then there's the shadow period for a few days afterward as well. Now, typically for the full moon, we focus on releasing we focus on manifestation. So definitely take advantage of this time, because even though the penumbral lunar eclipse is not, the energy is not as strong as a total lunar eclipse per se, there's still more energy than the typical full moon. So definitely take advantage of this time with regard to any type of full moon or lunar work that you do. Charging crystals, the full moon is a great time to do that. Setting out your water for moon water, again, great time to do that. But like I said, the focus for this time is inner work. So maybe collect some moon water to use in a spiritual bath, or to just put in a spray bottle and to spray yourself, just to assist you as you're doing this inner work. You can do it through, use it throughout your home in a spray bottle, or add it to a floor wash as well. Sometimes I will use the water to cleanse my hands as I'm meditating and entering into that meditative state. So you can just add it to as your spirit, your aura leads you to do. I would definitely recommend doing that as well. So I do have my cards out. I wanted to pull a few cards to see what extra information the spirit guides have for us with regard to this penumbral lunar eclipse and full moon in Scorpio. So let's get started. Now I have my Modern Witch Tarot deck here, as well as my Energy Oracle deck. So pull a few cards. I've already shuffled this deck. We have the Queen of Cups. Now, this is right on time with, like I said, Scorpio being that fiery water sign. Queen of Cups. Cups are all about our emotions, and being the Queen of Cups is that boss energy. It's a level of mastery with regard to our emotions, and essentially tapping in. So truly use this time to tap in with that inner work, that inner healing, that shadow work that we all need to do. And that's not something where, you know, you've done it, been there, done that, I'm good, I've done the work. It's something that you will do on a continual basis, especially as you're leveling up in your life, that it's important to do this constant work. And like I mentioned in the Pluto retrograde video, it's imperative that while you're doing this work, it's great to reflect in a sense of identifying old patterns that need to be released and let go of, but not to dwell on them, not to essentially look back. Once you have released that energy, release those old constraints and boundaries, the things that were holding you back. I'm thinking of the Mary Mary song, Shackles. Once you have released that, then it's important to just let it go. And I know that sometimes, you know, they say old habits die hard, but it's imperative, if you are essentially affirming that this is your time to level up and to evolve and to elevate yourself to a higher frequency, it's important that you have to let go. You have to release and not look back. So now let's pull another card. We have the Five of Swords in reverse. Now, Five of Swords, it's all about a battle. This is a battle internally. And it goes back to what I just said about old habits dying hard. You have got to let it go. You have to let it go. It's not worth your peace of mind. It's not worth your state of being. We're better than that. So it's imperative to let it go. Let go of whatever is holding you back and keeping you, stagnant and stunting your growth. We have the Star. It's a little nudity on the card, but the Star card in reverse. So the Star is about gaining and releasing at the same time. And in reverse, it's because we're, in this tug of war, we're holding on and not essentially letting go. we're giving up something, but still trying to hold on to it, instead of just releasing it. It's a process. It is. It's work. That's why it's called shadow work. It is work, but it's imperative. It's essential to your growth. Okay. Now, let's pull one of the oracle cards, like I said, from my energy oracle deck. We have community. So tap into that community. I've said in other videos, it doesn't have to be someone right there in front of you. And also, there's a way to use discernment where you're tapping in for support without relinquishing yourself, without giving up the goods. You're sharing knowledge, because knowledge is power, as I'm sharing knowledge here, without giving yourself away, because what will you have left for yourself? So that's also the moon energy, is maintaining an aura of mystique about yourself, and privacy and discernment, without being, such an open book that it's to your own detriment. It's great to be transparent, but not to be that martyr that I've talked about in previous videos. Okay, I feel called to pull one more energy card. Okay, and we have rest and rejuvenation. Okay, so use this time. The rest and rejuvenation, it's within. So we can tap into different methods, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through just gratitude, giving thanks, honoring the ancestors, honoring the spirit guides, honoring source. You can feel a sense of rest with that type of work as well. So this does not have to be active and fast paced. The activity comes in taking action to work on yourself through journaling, through sometimes just contemplating, thinking about, things that have taken place. Like I mentioned in the Pluto retrograde video, just looking over the most recent months and looking at, how far you've grown already. Looking at, there's, a meme that's going around right now that says that even a year ago that you dreamt of being where you are right now. And not necessarily in the physical sense, that could be the case as well, but in the mental sense, in the emotional sense, in the spiritual sense. Okay? If you're watching this video right now, I thank you. There is a purpose. You were called to view this message today. This message is for all of us. So again, I thank you. It's been a pleasure. Please don't hesitate to contact me with any feedback, with any questions, for any guidance. I am here for you. Peace. Ashe.